Hey, shalom everybody. Doing something I don't normally do in a public venue, but I've had a lot of questions about it lately and a lot of confusion. So I'm going to talk a little bit about handgun marksmanship and handgun skills. This is not a competition grade handgun. This is not even a very high dollar handgun. This is a Taurus 9mm. I'm using factory ammo for this video. I generally use my own ammo just because of the quality factor. This Taurus is, like I say, it's not a hand milled job. It's a Brazilian 9mm. There's a lot of confusion about the accuracy of handguns. Is my handgun good at 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet? I've heard people even profess up to 100 yards proficiency with a handgun. And being proficient varies from person to person. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is demonstrate 100 feet proficiency expectations, what you should expect of yourself. And I'm going to be using a man-sized target. This guy's kind of small. This is a 300 meter downrange rifle target, but I use him at 100 feet with handgun. And we're going to, with Noah's help here, we're going to walk the line and fire a few groups and show you what you should expect at 100 foot. With some practice. Now I don't practice daily or weekly, and for the past year, monthly has been touch or go, but I've had a lifetime of practice and shot tens of thousands of rounds. So don't beat yourself up. The more practice you put in firing, the better you're going to get at it. A couple things I want to go over before I go up range. You see I got a slide range here, which is a piece of PVC pipe on a rope, and I clamp my targets to it. And as you look around here, you'll see I don't have it out in the open, well lit, blah, 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 blah. What I have is I can slide it all the way to the right, and that gives me an unobstructed view. And then I also have an obstructed view, which is where I like to shoot with a little bit of real world stuff in the way. In real life, I hope to never be out. Walking out in the street, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to be there. That's not where I'm at. So we have to be ready to practice in conditions like we're going to be firing in. All right, so we're going to go up the range. We're going to see what we can do. Let's head up that way. All right, turn off. All right, so we're on our fire line. See what I've done here. I ain't got any real high-tech scientific measurements. I've got 100-foot tape. I'm about 1.5 feet off the target, to the target's advantage. And my firing stick is here right at 100 feet. I'm going to stand behind it just a little bit. And my goats are going to freak out here in a second. Alright, if you take a look down range, I guess what I'm going to do here, for the purpose of this, I'm going to try to demonstrate fast fire, slow fire, and offhand fire. Hopefully y'all don't laugh at me too bad, because like I say, I don't practice weekly any longer. Alright, so we're going to don our hearing protection. Hold on, Noah, you hold the camera. My video assistant. Hearing protection is important because you will be practicing a lot with your weapon, and you will be deaf. You will have hearing damage. All right, so for the purpose of this, I don't have a range master, so I'm going to do head, center of mass, and nut shot, growing shot. I'm going to do 5 fast fire up high. No, take that back. We'll step up difficulty. I'm going to do 5 slow fire up high. I'm going to do 5 fast fire, primary hand, dominant hand, center of mass, and I'm going to do offhand 5. Growing. Alright, so weapon is live. Already know the range is clear and checked. Alright, so I'm going to use the two-handed firing. You notice my finger is not in the trigger well until I'm ready to use the weapon. No matter how much you practice, no matter how safe you are, practice range safety. It prevents accidents. A lifetime of shooting safely means nothing once you had one accident and somebody's injured. Alright, so we're going to do a relatively, I call it a slow fire group up high. 5 shots, 9mm, 103 feet, give or take. I think that was 5. Alright, so that was slow fire. Now we're going to do 5 rapid fire in And basically what I mean by rapid fire is I took a second, got a good sight picture, took a second to aim, and in a real life situation, generally you're going to have that amount of time and that ability, but not always. Sometimes you're going to be talking, you're going to have to pull and fire, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate right now, center of mass. All right, now, for what I'm going safe on my weapon, just as a range safety tip, and I'm reholstering. All right, so what I want to talk about right now is I'm right-hand dominant, and I've shot most of my practice in my life with my right hand. But I have practiced with my offhand. This hand may take a round. I may fall and injure it. I just had a surgery recently, and although it didn't involve my arms, I have had hand surgeries in the past and completely lost use of a hand. And then the other, I've had it on both hands actually. And so what you have to be able to do, obviously, you're going to have to pull across, rotate your weapon, and be able to deploy your weapon. And so I've seen this done a lot of different ways. I want to show you the way that I practice and I do it. And I'm not telling you it's best, I'm just telling you what works for me. You'll have an arm, you'll have something there, or you'll be in shock and won't be firing. And so what I do is I just ball my fist up. You side grab that weapon. Again, no finger in the trigger or near trigger. You draw it out. As soon as you draw it out, you prop it up, cradle it, and rotate. As soon as you rotate, you're ready. Now hopefully you've got one jacked in. If not, you're going to have to work on that. That's something you can do, but not in the auspices of this video. You're going to decock and you're going to fire. Alright, so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do offhand firing. I'm not going to acquire sight targets, so I'm probably going to have a group big as a bus. And I'm going to dormant hand draw from the dominant hand holster, rotate and fire without a good long time for acquiring a target. So here we go. Range is still clear because we're the only ones here. Again, 9mm, 103 feet, dormant hand, dominant hand holster draw, reverse and fire with no extended target sighting. All right, here we go. Up, over, on. As I come around, my safety is going off. I'm going down. All right, so we had a
camera says it was overheating.
That'll be all right. All right, so we're gonna go down, check this out. We have picked, my camera's overheating. We picked the hottest day of the year to do this. So far, I guess 110 heat index or whatever. So it's not actually the hottest. Now let's see how horribly I did. All right, so you aim the group up high. We got
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so again, that's at about 103 feet. Not so sexy, but I'll accept it. Up here, Noah, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. My guess is first 2 shots were probably here and here. Hard to tell again. Here is my target. So I was about 1 1/4 inch off at 103 feet through some obstruction. And I'm not sure if I nicked some of this or not. That's not important for the purpose of this video. All right, so we're gonna go to the faster fire group. And so here again, we've got a 1 inch variance, a 1 inch group, or just under a 1 inch. You know what? All right, so that's less than a 1 inch group. That is just under 1 inch. All right, so down here, we're gonna go low, go to the center of mass. This was with my dominant hand. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so what's the big difference with fast fire? On TV, it's all the same. Well, right here's the obvious difference. When you go fast fire, I went from a less than a 1 inch group to a 2.5 inch group at 103 feet. That's a big difference. 2.5 inches is still pretty formidable at this range, but that makes a huge difference. And you can see that that's 250% more miss You know, that's 250% more variance than I have up here. All right, so now, okay, let's see what we did down here. Oh, with the offhand. Oh, boy. All right, so offhand, here was my aim target. I got a shot way over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so then I did land, my guess, first 2 shots side by side, but then I had a lot of walk. All right, so offhand, this is embarrassing, Noah. All right, so I got a 3-inch group down here. So we're gonna score this with aimed, dominant, slow fire. We got sub 1 inch. We got fast, dominant fire. What we have down here? No, 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch. Offhand draw. I just forgot what we had. I think it was 3 inches.
3 inches.
3 inches. Wow. All right. So there you go. Again, you know, I'm not gonna beat myself up about this accuracy. At 100 feet, look up that fire range there, Noah, so they can see that tape. You can stand here and do it. You can see at that distance, your average person is going to consider that out of handgun distance. And now, what does that mean, out of handgun? I don't know what out of handgun distance means. If I got a handgun and I need to put down fire, I'll shoot at you at 200 feet, 300 feet. I'm not going to shoot a sub 1 inch group at 300 feet. I will hit this man reliably at 300 feet. I won't, you know, say I'll hit him every time. All right, so 1 inch, slow fire, good target acquisition, steady aim, 1 shot every 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. That's kind of my flow. Fast fire. What I consider fast fire is you're doing at least a shot a second, and you're putting them down there to make them count. You really don't need to practice fast fire a lot, because what I consider slow fire, you know, I'm not drawing and bang, bang, bang. Real world's not going to work that way. Your adrenaline's not going to work like that way. Circumstance not going to let you work that way. Bang, 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 bang. That's fast. Bang, 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 bang. That's slow. Not a big difference. So, 1 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch. Does this man know the difference between whether I was shooting fast or slow? No, he doesn't know, because if I was shooting aimed, he has no nose and no left eye socket. I was trending left and down, a common fault of mine, as you can see through all these targets. If I was shooting fast with my dominant hand, not taking good time to aim, he has no lungs and heart. His heart's been eat out. He's through. Any one of those rounds is a lethal shot. Any one of these rounds is a lethal shot. Growing, would he know any difference? No, these are all lethal shots as well. Not immediately lethal down here. This is an insta-kill. This is an insta-kill. This terminated this target. If he had a finger in a trigger and a weapon at the ready, and he took this round, bang, that round probably went off. He got no other, that was a reflectionary shot, he might have got off. So, there you go. Be encouraged. The king is coming. Up here, Noah. Be encouraged, the king is coming. And, you know, when you guys are thinking about and talking about rifles, shotguns, long-distance weapons, any weapon that you have ready is the weapon you need to use. Because if you got to go to the house, you got to go to the car, you got to go to a locker, you got to go to a safe. If you can effectively deliver a round at 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet with the weapon you have at the ready to neutralize the circumstance that you need to take care of, practice so you can take care of it. If anybody wants to take a challenge, or you know, I know a lot of you guys are competitive. I'm not. I'm really not, because I suck. I'm not as good as I used to be, and I'm not as good as quite a few people that I already know. But if some people want to, you know, make this into you know, I know we got a pull-up challenge going on, this, that, and the other. But let's work on practicing, Saints. Let's work on being accurate. If this gentleman was holding me at gunpoint at 50, 75, or 100 feet and told you to drop your weapon, would you drop your weapon to preserve my life? Or could you put a round in him with me right here? That's what we're looking at. If that gentleman was laid down if that 1-inch pattern was laid down, looking at you, providing you fire, and he was a very low tick, could you take him off, you know, out of his cover? So be encouraged. The king is coming. Practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. Peace out. Shalom.